Uh, yes, I think it shows you how profitable the core Facebook business is. It also shows how ambitious of a project and how ambitious of this revenue segment is for Facebook. They're spending $10 billion this year. Probably that goes up to kind of mid-teens, 13 to $15 billion next year. Essentially, Facebook is showing that this is a moonshot that they're willing to go behind, while the core business, the family of apps, is very, very profitable. And yet they are still not monetizing WhatsApp or Messenger to the extent that they can. So it's a clear positive. It shows Facebook is willing to take big bets while the core business is very profitable.
Right. Okay. So I want to make sure I understand. They've disclosed this for the first time. We now know it was $10 billion this year. You assume it's going up. Perhaps they'll give more guidance as well on the call. And you view it overall as a positive. Why? Again,
positive in the sense that the core business profitability is of the nature of more than 45-50% op margins right now. If Facebook is willing to spend about $10 billion on a cash burning project, they are seeing signs of how large of a revenue generation opportunity that can be in not 22, but 24, 25 and beyond. So I think they're taking moonshots like every large mega cap should take. We knew this was a very, very significant moonshot. The recent metaphors, all the highlights indicate that they're going behind this. And I feel putting a number behind how much they're spending is essentially telling the investment community that more to come, and you should expect more returns, as Facebook, I think, is a very, very good capital allocator.
And they're going to break down the results in future quarters, they've told us. But what about the core business, the ad business? It's slowing, and it's continued to project to slow because of some of these Apple changes. So where does that go?
I think after Snap results, there was a lot of fear and anxiety in the investment community as to how bad can it get for Facebook and other people. I think what Facebook is showing is that they prepared for Apple IDFA. They are probably 3 or up to 6 months ahead of the rest of the ad tech ecosystem. They essentially rebuilt almost big fundamental parts of their ad tech, and they are seeing the results of this. So the silver lining for Snap is that, okay, if you rebuild some parts of your ad tech, 6 months from now, you should be better positioned. But for Facebook, they have the lead here. They are showing that what Apple is throwing at them is a solvable problem. And that, in fact, opens up new ways to monetize their user base, which is commerce. I think what Facebook has done over the last 6 months, that has put them way ahead of anybody in the landscape around what social commerce could look like next year while mitigating the risk of Apple IDFA. So there are two silver linings here, in my opinion.
So, Rohit, I've got to ask you, because this is all happening with the release of the Facebook papers, and it really does go from bad to worse, including a batch that was released today, including some new allegations around Mark Zuckerberg's direct involvement. It's cringeworthy. It's worth a read. They read like a novel. Like some of the stories are pretty unbelievable. How do you read it as an analyst, though, and how should investors read it?
I think from an analyst standpoint, from investment community standpoint, I think Facebook just needs to create a better rhetoric and transparency around how they're addressing data and privacy concerns that have been lingering for a while. I feel they have done a reasonably okay job. I would say a B+ grade right now. But I think as the next year unfolds, probably we are going to see more noise from Washington, D.C. Facebook needs to jump ahead on the landmine that is coming in Q1 or Q2 of next year.
What does that mean?
Probably more oversight and essentially more headlines coming out of Washington, D.C. around people coming up to Capitol Hill to talk about what is going on with Facebook and the data that they have. So I feel there is this window of opportunity for Facebook to control the message and to be more transparent around how they are addressing all of that. So there is probably 6 to 9 months before there is a greater investment loss to be had here.